This clip is sponsored by Wash and Go, and that can only mean one thing. That's right, I'm surrounded by a sea of green. By now you should know that Wash and Go is the best way to look after your luscious locks. I mean, look at what it's done for mine. Fantastic. But you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at some of the 600 plus unreal reviews on their Amazon page. Linda from the United Kingdom says, well, it smells lush and leaves hair smelling fresh. Fantastic, Linda. Kindle customer JSB says, product arrived as advertised. Always very important. Always important to know that, Kindle customer JSB. And finally, my personal favourite, it's shampoo and it works for me. Absolutely fantastic there from Casey. It is indeed shampoo and also a conditioner. If you want to get your Wash and Go today, then hit the link in the description and get your bottle sent to you today. And remember, it's a shampoo and it works for me. Enjoy the clip. We're going to do Premier League Defender of the year, of the season. And you lots are going to be the judge and the jury. Our first quarter-final, there's 8 to choose from. And we do it in a head-to-head quarter-final, then semi-final. So our first quarter-final is very interesting. It's Trent versus Robertson. Trent Alexander-Arnold against Andy Robertson in the first quarter-final. People will say, well, you're fixing it, but you'll see there's a lot of Liverpool players in it, so it's just the way it's fallen. And anyway, everyone's got to play everyone to win it. Mark, what do you think of Kyle Walker-Peters as a new right-back? Yeah. Robbo is more complete. Trent is blasting Robbo at the moment. As a defender, it's Robbo, says Aaron. And what's your Nunez percentage, says Dana. Don't worry about it, mate. It's not going to change. Unless it starts to dip, Trent looks like he's going to win this quite comfortably. It is an interesting one, Robertson against Trent Alexander-Arnold. As an outsider, Trent Alexander-Arnold is an amazing attacking fullback. His free kicks, his delivery is unbelievable. But Robertson's a better all-round fullback. Defensively, he's better. I think he puts a good cross in. I think he's a very, very, very good left-back. In fact, I think he would be in the argument to be the best left-back in the world. I just think this season, Cancelo's probably had a better season than him. But I still think he's a very, very good left-back. And it should be quite close. But I suppose the reason strikers always win the awards over defenders is the reason Trent will win this one over Robertson. Because Trent actually gets goals and stuff and assists. And Robertson doesn't do as much as that. So the more exciting player is going to win over the more... in the less exciting player, I suppose. So yes, it's down to 72%. We'll count down from 10, but unless it changes massively, we'll close that one. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 72% of the votes. Trent knocks out Robertson. Because it's quite a good one, this one. Rudiger against Cancelo. We move. They're all good. They're all good. The Van Dijk one's really good, but doesn't mean it will be a good poll. Trent isn't a terrible defender, but he's not a world beater. That's not his game, says Raku. No, I think he gets a lot of stereotypical stuff about his defending, but he's definitely better going forward. Yeah, definitely. Coffee cake. This is quite close between Cancelo and Rudiger, so keep the votes coming in. I'm enjoying this. I love these polls anyway. They're great fun. And Defender of the Year. Yeah, I mean, somebody just said there, this is Defender of the Year. So why is Rudiger not winning it? He's a better defender. But look, it's not the vote is not me. And look, I think you do have to take into account their attacking ability as well. But yeah, Rudiger is losing this at the moment. I'm going to count down from 10. And if it doesn't come down from 56%, then it will be over. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's over. Rudiger goes out. Cancelo goes through. Still says Robertson is better than Cancelo. He has more goals, more assists, has better defensive stats with playing less games. The only thing Cancelo has over him is he can pass the ball with the outside of his boots. But Drexel, it's a knockout thing. The best player will win. Robertson might have gone out to Trent, but maybe Trent will put Cancelo out in the semi-final. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, does it? But it wasn't given. This is going to be an interesting one. This is my favourite quarter-final for Premier League Defender of the Season. Matip against Romero. If you know, you know. if you know, you know. These two this season have been remarkably good. Romero maybe started off a bit slow, but he's been brilliant for Spurs. And Matip, I would argue Matip's been better than Van Dijk. I think they have been brilliant this season, these two. And for me, they should be contender for Premier League Defender of the Year. It wouldn't be out of place if this was a final. It's like Conte versus Howe for Manager of the Year. They'll never get it because it will go to Pep probably or Klopp. But Premier League Manager of the Year, I think Howe and Conte have done brilliant jobs. And I think similarly, Romero and Matip have been brilliant as well. But is he better than Ashley Young, says Ricky from Nate H. Well, Matip has flown into a big lead here, 57%. So if you want to vote for Romero, if you want to vote for Matip, get your votes in. But it's Matip who's flown into an early lead here. I mean, to be fair, Liverpool are playing Southampton, so maybe we've got a few Liverpool fans watching. But it's come down to 56%, so maybe Romero's coming back now. Get your votes in. We are doing Premier League Defender of the Year. This is our third quarter-final, and through into the semi-finals. This is to be our third semi-finalist, and it's 56% to Matip and 44% for Romero. We'll start counting down. If that doesn't come down to 55, it's come down to 55%. We'll give it a little bit longer. We'll give it a little bit longer there. I'll count down in a minute. Romero is clear. Somebody just laughed that Romero's in there. Matip all day, says Illaborn United. I'm glad I'm not voting on this. I'll tell you which one I would. I always meant to tell you who I should go for. So I would have gone for Trent over Robertson, and our Rudiger or Cancelo probably would have gone for Cancelo as well. So I think you've got it right so far. This one, I'm going to start counting down. If it doesn't go to 54%, we close it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we'll close that. That's still on 55% for Matip. Yes, he's through. Romero goes out. Romero robbed will be in the chat, but that's the way it goes. 55% of the vote for Matip, 45% of the vote for Romero. He didn't get there. Matip has won. That was a good one. Is going to be, I think you'll know one of the names. You should have figured out both of them. It's Van Dijk versus Diaz. Ruben Diaz versus Virgil van Dijk. Go. Reece James didn't play all season, so I don't think he can be a contender for Premier League Defender of the Season, really. I think it would have been a waste of time putting him in, to be honest. Van Dijk has gone into a massive lead here. Yeah, I don't necessarily... Oh, who would I have gone with between Romero and Matip? You know what? I don't like sitting on the fence. I'm going to pick one, but I really think both of them have had a great season. Matip is so underrated, and Romero's been good, but I probably would have just gone for Matip, so I think you've got it right again. Yeah, but it's a tough one, that. In fact, that should have been a bit closer. I think 55%, 45% is a bit unrealistic. But Van Dijk's going to win this one. We'll close it in 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Van Dijk is through and Diaz is out. Interestingly, our semi-finalists are Van Dijk, Matip, Cancelo and Trent. They literally would make a back four. That's not by design. We would have had that. Thiago Silva would not win this, so don't even moan about it. And nobody put him forward. His name was not really mentioned. There was a few people, but nobody really mentioned him. So our first semi-final is Trent against Cancelo for Premier League Defender of the Season. Cancelo against Trent for Premier League Defender of the Season. Get your votes in. Rudiger got knocked out by Cancelo. This is a good one. Rudiger and Cancelo. They're both 50-50 at the moment. I think the other semi-final will be close as well. This bodes well. Some saying this should have been the final. Cancelo all day. Trent's brilliant. 50-50. This is good. We like a 50-50. We've had 4,300 votes and it's 50-50. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Keep the votes coming in. Trent against Cancelo in our first semi-final for Premier League Defender of the Season, and it's 50-50. Love it. Love it, community. This is where it gets exciting. It's like Kulusevski against Bowen all over again. Second half kicks off. Cancelo's taken a lead here. He's got 51%. Oh, this is so close. Trent's going to get robbed, says Sargent. Cancelo is winning now. The most exciting one we've had in a while. It's back to 50-50. The game's kicked off here, so I'm just keeping an eye on what's going on. Cancelo's gone back in front again. I mean, sort of. This is a good one, but it's difficult to vote. It's difficult to close the vote when it's so tight. Right, we're going to count down here because we've got 51% for Cancelo and we've got 49% for Trent. So if it doesn't change in the next 10 seconds, we're closing it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's still on 51%. Yeah, it's closed. Cancelo into the final. Trent goes home. Let's just take a moment to appreciate an epic semi-final in our Premier League Defender of the Year award, voted for by you. They've been centre-back partners for most of the season. Van Dijk versus Matip. Second semi-final. Matip against Van Dijk. Will reputation reign through, or will the underrated player reign through? Both had very good seasons. If Trent assisted the defence more, he would win, says Josh. Van Dijk is winning 64% here. It shouldn't be that big. That's what she said. It shouldn't be that big a lead for Van Dijk. I mean, he is brilliant, but Matip has done really well. Van Dijk's going to win this. Oh, somebody said end the vote. Is it? Let me just count it down from 10. If it goes down to 64%, I'll keep it open. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we'll close it. Van Dijk won. I tell you what, that's an injustice. It's not an injustice that Van Dijk won it. I would have voted Matip, but it never should have been 65% to 35%. I'm a bit disappointed by that. You know, that a Matip is definitely a case of underrated. Like he's a very good. Okay, so our final. Let me get the final up for you. The final is going to be Premier League Defender of the Season, as voted for by you, is going to be Van Dijk versus Cancelo. Go, it's your vote. Somebody just said there, Van Dijk won because people are blinded by reputation. Cancelo takes an early lead with 60%. It's come down to 59%. I'm not going to do the countdown yet. More people are voting for Van Dijk. It's our Premier League Defender of the Season final between Cancelo and Van Dijk. And Cancelo leads by 59% at the moment. The final really was probably the semi-final between Trent and Cancelo, because that was 50-50 for ages, but Cancelo just about did it. Super sub of the season, Mark. Big fan, says Nero. We've still got to do midfielder yet before we do that. We'll do that tomorrow night on the Europa League. It's coming down to 58%. Van Dijk on a comeback here. Cancelo had a lead, I think, at one point of 62%. It's dropping at the moment. It won't stabilise, so I can't do a count 10 down. I'll do it now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. No, I won't do that. I'm not going to cheat in the final. Really. It's come down to 57%. Pranav says Cancelo deserves it. Kieran says Virgil van Dijk. It's stabilised at 57%. Right, I'm going to count down from 10. If this stays on 50% when I've counted down by 10, it's over. 10, 9, 8. Get your votes in. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me open it. 57%. It's over. It's over. Cancelo is your defender of the year. 57% of you voted for him. Easy Diaz signing of the season, says Barry. He didn't sign this year though, did he? That was last year. You're living in the past, Barry. So there it is. Shocking result, says Aaron. But Cancelo has won it. For me, the semi-final was... Hi, I'm Mark Goldbridge. That's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.